How's it going, everyone? It's Artifact. Welcome to another tutorial with Vital. This one's called the toilet roll bass because it's so filthy it's going to make you shit yourself. Alright, so the bass we're talking about is this one here. It's got a nice kind of machine gun drill sound to it. I'm going to show you exactly how I made it in Vital now. So it's a little bit of a complicated patch because I've done a lot of weird kind of tweaks and I've played a lot with the advanced settings here on the unison. But we start off with oscillator 1, which is a saw wave originally. And the way we're going to get the movement in this bass is going to be from 2 LFOs and then like a heavy sine wave underneath everything. So the first sort of LFO here is on set to 8ths, and we're tracking the level to this saw wave here. Turned up the unison and to 16 and 33%, you know, phase randomization on 0. Straight over to the advanced tab and set it to a minor chord. And then I've turned down the detune range because it's normally at 2. I've turned it down to 1. And then we go back over here and start to add in some effects. And I decided to use the random amplitude setting. And it kind of gives this like almost glitchy bit lo-fi video game chip tune, I don't know, sound. And then this pulse mode as well, it kind of splits up this wave table. And then it gave it this kind of like chomping kind of Pac-Man kind of biting sound or something like that. Yeah, and then I was like, this sounds pretty cool already, but I need to introduce some like more harmonics, and especially in the low end. And then we got this one here, which is a kind of, it's a sine wave, but used the Shepherd tone mode and frequency modulating this from oscillator 1. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. You can download the patch from my Patreon if you want to save time. But on this one, we actually do a different LFO, and it's double the speed, so it's at 16ths. And then by having those sort of together, so we have one at 1/8 and one at 16th, we get this kind of like double kind of interesting movement going on. And again, with the advanced tab on the second one, I've also changed some settings here. I've gone on to the odd harmonics because it's a different kind of texture and it's just sounded quite nice. Yeah, and again, with the first oscillator here, we've tweaked a couple of these extra settings here, the spectral spread and the distortion spread. And we've kind of mapped those to our LFO as well. And if we go to oscillator 3, this is where we kind of tie everything together. And this one here, we just put in like a fat sort of sine wave underneath everything. And it's sort of smashing it all together, you know, these 2 original sounds with the sine wave, like into some distortion from the soft clipper here. So obviously, if I take that off, it's quite sort of clean. But when we put it all together through the distortion, you get this kind of gnarly. I don't know why I said gnarly. I'm not even American, but yeah, gnarly sound. And that's basically kind of what that patch is. Again, there's a few extra sort of tweaks here, a few wavetable effects, and then, you know, back on the effects section here, we've got the chorus mode I love to use on the freeze setting and just tweak these little parameters here, introduce a little bit of feedback and put a bit of mix in. And then the compressor, we're kind of mixing in and out the signal with one of the LFOs as well to create a bit more extra dynamism. Dynamism, is that, can you say that? Yeah, it's a pretty wicked patch. The main elements that really create this sound is, you know, playing with the random amplitude on this saw wave to get that kind of bit crushed sound, and then the pulse mode here, that's quite important. And then it's just a case of like choosing these interesting, you know, minor chord and odd harmonics for the detuning, and then just sort of tweaking these settings here, mapping them to these LFOs. And again, we've got one oscillator doing 1/8 and the second oscillator doing 1/16 to create like that kind of dynamic rhythm pattern stuff. And then like a sine wave underneath it all, really powerful, and like smashing those 3 things together through distortion. And then I've gone on to post-process it just with a little bit of sort of convolution reverb. And yeah, in the context of the track, it sounds pretty nasty. So I hope you guys like that. The patch is already available on my Patreon now, which you can access also from my website, artifactmusic.com. Just go down here and sign up, and I put all my newest presets straight on there. And if you want to get my older presets, you can check out my shop. I've got some 2021 Vital presets. And also, if you want to check out my tuition, I do one-on-one teaching as well every week. So if you ever want to like learn a bit more production with me, then just send me a message down here to info@artifactmusic.com, and I'll get back to you normally within the same day. So have a wicked day, guys, and I'll be back with some more sound design videos soon. Ciao.